Welcome back to Link Between Worlds on Hidden Travelers channel. We are inside of the House of Gales, Gale House, whatever it is. And essentially it is a wind temple. It's not very windy, just slightly breezy for the most part. But this temple is fairly simple. There's a couple of areas that you may get stuck on. But for the most part, there's nothing here that's overly challenging. So what we're going to do is use this new item, and it's essentially like a bad version of a rocks cave. You can't really jump, but you can just like float upward, and then you can't move it to the side any. You just go straight up and straight down. The only way to make it go anywhere is if you were in a wind funnel, sort of like that, and if you were to use it. So it's kind of useless. And it's mostly used for blowing out fires and a variety of other weird kind of similar effects. So it's kind of an odd item that I feel like they didn't take it to the full potential, but to each their own, and that's I guess how they wanted to do things. I just think it's a boring addition to all the items that they always have in the Zelda series. So let's go ahead, drop this down, we'll be all set. Figure out how to use this. Nope, nothing going on there. Let's kill all these things before they get in our way. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying A Link Between Worlds. It came out earlier today, the 22nd, and I've been hearing great things about it. The game's been getting really high and fabulous reviews. I've only seen a couple of bad reviews for it, and they were kind of like troll reviews just to get hits. So I really wouldn't think too much into those. Anyways, this is one of those examples I was just talking about. We got some enemies in here. We're going to use the tornado rod and blow out their fire where they are now vulnerable. So yeah, it's used mostly for blowing out fire, I feel. I mean, it's used for more, but it just, to me, it seems like that's what it's primarily used for. And that might not even be an accurate statement. It's just me using what I feel at this time. Anyways, we're already making a lot of progress. Get the first small key, so that's always a good sign. So we should be just about done here, shouldn't we? No. This is about a 20-minute dungeon. I do get lost for a brief period here in the dungeon, but it's nothing overly bad. So we'll deal with that when we get there. I feel like I'm getting stuck more on these beginner levels, these introduction dungeons, more than I am later on. Maybe it's just because once you get used to the puzzles, it just becomes way too obvious. I'm thinking that's probably what the case is, because it's really, as I've said, the dungeons aren't overly complicated, and I feel like I just definitely get through them on my first try, and I feel like it doesn't look like a blind Let's Play because I'm just breezing through most of these dungeons at the time with absolutely no problem whatsoever. So it kind of takes away from the whole challenge factor, but oh well. House of Gales is definitely a fun little dungeon where they're experimenting with wind. As you can see there, it will kind of push you. You also, if you don't have Tornado Rod, it will still push you, but obviously not as far, but will push you off a cliff if you don't have it out and there's a cliff in your path. So watch out for that. So we're going to proceed onward. The boss at the end of this dungeon is, I guess he's kind of fun. I'll get to him a little bit more when we actually get there, I suppose. In most of my LP videos, I try and use the separate the boss into its own little video, but the boss fights in this game are so short, it's just usually not even worth the time. In some of the other games, you can have a boss fight for like 5-10 minutes. In this game, they're generally like 30 seconds to a couple of minutes tops, so just tack them on there at the end. It's just easier that way. So we got a lot of rats at the bottom here, just a whole ton of them. So let's trying to see where to go. I'm going to stay on this thing, I suppose, and see if there's anything up here to the left in these pots that I might need. If not, then I'm just going to go ahead and go down and take care of these rats that have been harassing me. They're just kind of swarming. Kind of reminds me of the movie Willard, where the guy controls all the rats. It's very creepy movie. If you haven't seen it, don't. It's not very good. Still creepy though. So, if you're into that kind of thing, watch it. Anyways, yeah, 100 rupees. Way to go. So we're gathering rupees up pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and fly all the way over where we just were. So, yeah, we're back here again. So let's go ahead and shoot this while we're here. So pretty much everything that I just did, I didn't need to do. Just kind of like a additional kind of side thing, but whatever. I got some rupees out of it, so we're going to go ahead and go up to the second floor of the House of Gales and see what all is going on up here. It's a lot more wind related, it seems, but not. So yeah, we're going to use this item pretty much like a way to jump, since we don't have Rock's Cape or Rock's Feather or anything similar. So that's our way of jumping. It's just kind of floating upward with a toy. It's kind of dumb, but whatever. Oh, let's go ahead and see how we can get this. I was hoping I could just like blow it off or like move just 1 inch sideways. Apparently that's not how things are gonna go. Again, you cannot move sideways. It's just a straight up shot, which is kind of, I just don't like that. We're going to head back over here and around, and we're going to drop down here and whoops, I went down too far. I just meant to drop down there. I didn't mean to go all the way down. So let's work our way over here. We're going to work head back this way. I'm really tired. I've been pretty much recording this game non-stop since I got it, so I'm definitely getting tired, and my commentary may suffer a little bit. It's not as bad as when I got Ocarina of Time 3D and I did it for Nimbuzz. I was up for pretty much like 4 days straight, did nothing but record and commentate because he wanted the entire game done at its launch. And that was before there was a 3DS capture device like the one I'm using here. So it was pretty much stand in front. I was pretty much standing in my basement with a camcorder held over my 3DS and this microphone stand that I had rigged. And it was just really uncomfortable. And I was like that for pretty much 4 days straight. I was very uncomfortable and very aggravated. By the time that Let's Play ended, my commentary got pretty aggressive. I was raging. I was so tired. Hopefully I never end up doing any kind of thing like that again. And thankfully there is this 3DS capture device now where I do not have to sit there all day long and be hunched over, because that was not fun. There's something that's going to be here, not sure what quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and get up and try and get this. Oh, timing is off. Seems to be my thing where I never have the timing right. And again, I'm like scraping aside. Just grab on with your hands and pull yourself up, Blink. So, okay. And pull that. More of these guys. Nothing's going on. So nothing is going on here at the moment. So we will just, I guess, head to the right with this platform that we have and see what's going to happen over here. Got some more of these switches, so let's go ahead and keep pulling all of them. Again, we're using this thing just to blow out fire. I'm sort of surprised they don't have you use the 3DS's microphone for it like they did for a couple of other items in like Spirit Tracks. It seems to be something that they like to do. So I was really shocked about that. I was really expecting me to have to blow on the mic just to get up. Let's see, nothing that way. Nothing this way. Let's see if there's something that I missed. This is the area that I get lost at here for just a brief moment, maybe a minute or two, so it's not too bad. So, obviously can't go anywhere there. This is where I just was a second ago, where I come out. So just trying to see what all there's some way to get this to pop up. I don't know if I'm doing this wrong, but I feel like I just need to blow that out. We're gonna go ahead. Yeah, I do get lost here for a couple of minutes, and I apologize for that, but I can't be perfect. I had the big key, but I need myself a small key, so I need to find a way to get that, and that will hopefully clear up everything. We gotta be something out here in some form, so I'm going to maybe see if I kill all the enemies outside. That will take care of everything, since I just kind of left these guys be. So let's kill them. Looks like there's room for us to go through this fire, but I bet there's not. We'll bypass. We got one or two more of these guys, and then we'll see if anything good happens. If not, then I'm obviously going the wrong way, and I'll need to keep exploring. Well, nothing happened with that. So, okay. Let's go ahead and go back inside, see if there's something that I missed, even though there's doesn't appear to be anything that I've missed. But you never know. With the way this wall hugging is in this game, and probably something wall hugging related, since that seems to be all the puzzles. If you're ever stuck in this game, just hug a wall, walk along it like I'm doing now, and I'm sure there's going to be some hidden wall or like way around that you won't see. Oftentimes, if you have your 3DS, I guess the 3D on, then it will kind of give you a new kind of perception where you can see it just a little bit better. But wow, that was a long yawn. But yeah, this is really the only game on the console where 3D is actually useful, because you do get that extra perspective, and it does add a new kind of layer of depth to the dungeon, where you can kind of see things and get a better view and angle on where things are. In all the other games, it's just kind of used as like, oh, this is cool, this is coming out at me, even though it's really not. 3DS's 3D isn't really 3D, it's more like pretending to be 3D. So I'm stuck, so I'm going to use these hint glasses and kind of show you guys what they do. I haven't used them yet, but it makes these question mark ghosts appear, and they take away a play coin. So let's go ahead and talk to this guy and see what he has to say. Ghostly here, and they hint ghost. Okay, well that was helpful. I know that. Go back to your book. There's one more up there. So I'm going to get my tornado rod out, my rented tornado rod out, because he obviously wasn't all that much help. I've been going on about that for a while now. But I like these glasses. They kind of look like a bad Halloween costume that I'm wearing. Get that beard and glasses on, so, or mustache and big nose kind of thing. It's very odd. Let's see what this guy. Oh, that's actually helpful. So, as I just said, if you get stuck, just hug a wall, and that'll generally be the way to go. I guess this is the one that I needed right here. So, I'm gonna walk around. Yep. Okay. There it is. So, very, very discreet there. Not a kind of puzzle that you would see in most Zelda games. Just very abstract kind of puzzle there. But there's the key that we need, and we are all set now. So now we can proceed up into here. I actually got my timing down on that right. So that was fun. So that was the first time that like I really got just stuck, like blatantly stuck on a puzzle. And we're going to face off against these guys. I don't know what they're supposed to be. There might be Dodongos. They kind of look like they might want to be a Dodongo, but they are on fire. So just put them out, and then you can slash at them. If you knock them into the fire, then they'll kind of like relight like that guy did. Otherwise, you just keep smacking them, and they don't do a lot of damage, and they're really slow. So just kind of go at them at your own pace. Not too challenging, though they do take several hits, which is, I guess, their most frustrating aspect. Once you defeat them, we will get the shortcut. Kind of going old school, it's a shortcut. I don't think there's been... I'm trying to think the last time that there were shortcuts like that. I mean, Skyward Sword kind of had like statues. Twilight Princess had Uokos or Ookos, whatever. I don't even know how to pronounce their names. Where you could create your own shortcut, but it's the handheld games, the oracles and all that, that always had the area that you could warp pretty much to like a midway point. Link's Awakening had the same, and this is kind of similar to that, except this is like a glowy little passage compared to what they usually had. So it's good to see them, like, they're really kind of throwing things back to some of the older games in the series, and I'm so glad that they have done that, because the last two handheld games honestly have been completely horrible. Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass were not good games, and you can argue that with me, but you were frankly wrong. For a Zelda game, they are absolutely trash. As an overall standalone game, they're okay, but if you're comparing it to a Zelda game, then they are bad. And they are by far the worst games in the series, and I was worried that they were going to stick with those designs for all the handhelds in the future. Just overly simplified, babyfied, easy, and just the whole being on a train and being on that boat thing just wasn't fun. So I'm glad they have gone back to having a real kind of adventure filled with more than like 4 dungeons. This game has like almost 10 dungeons, if not more, and they're all creative and fun, and they have an actual overworld to explore. You're not limited by you're not limited to just like the train and Spirit Tracks. There was no overworld, there was no exploration, it was nothing but sitting there. I messed that up. See what I need to do actually, so let's go ahead and go back in there and do this the right way. What you need to do is float upward. So let's drop down here in just a second. Come on, there we go. I guess I could have maybe flown up. I don't know if I would get high enough if I floated up with the tornado rod, but I guess there's a couple of different ways of doing that, perhaps. Anyways, I probably made it harder than it needed to be. But we're getting close to the end of this dungeon. It's about a 22, 23 minute video, so let's go ahead and just kill all these monsters. Hope something good happens from it. Get some health. Always grab health in this game, because if you do die, you lose all the items that you've rented, and of course that's no good. You don't want that. So this area is blocked from us for now, so let's go ahead and work our way around this other way. This is the video where I just yawn constantly. I fell down on accident there, so let's go right back on up. And of course this is taking me longer than it should have. This is the one dungeon, and it's not hard at all, and it's just kind of like the first dungeon where you're really kind of getting the mechanics of the wall hugging. You did that in the last palace, Hera's Tower, but this is kind of like the one, like, alright, now that you've got it, let's mix it up a little bit, add some variety. So once you kind of get past this dungeon, everything is super simple, and you're gonna hang for all the puzzles at that point. So this is a creative little room here, where a bunch of these guys, and there's cliffs all over. So what you need to do is just kind of knock them, and you can knock them off the cliff really easily after you extinguish their fire. That's probably the best way to kill them if you can, just try and like knock them all down off the cliff. And you can, I guess, try and like knock them if you really want to. Keep them on land and then slash them with your sword to death. This is definitely the best way to do this. So this guy wants to come to me. He's bouncing off of everything here. For the last one, I will do just that. Slash him and hack him up. So that's out of our reach at this moment. So we will have to work our way back around to get to that. These guys are also making an appearance from A Link to the Past and also sort of Ocarina of Time. So let's go ahead and just grab this chest. Small key, which will go in the door that we just saw a second ago. So let's go ahead and work our way up, grab these blue rupees that are higher up, and be good to go. We can just going to run past this guy who wants to kill him. Also make an appearance from A Link to the Past. I don't think he's been in a game since A Link to the Past, which I don't know why. He'll make a cool 3D model game character. So, yep, we're right here, ready to go into the boss chamber and fight off against this guy. It should be a good one. Let's see what we've got here. It doesn't give the names of the bosses, but this is definitely a creepy little boss. Looks like something that you would see in like a bad Resident Evil game. But he's really easy to defeat, and I'm just going to kind of head straight at him. I'm guessing I need to just fly up and, yep, just fly up and land on top so you can slash at the eye. The eye is always a weak point. It's like a meat tower. I don't know how to describe this. A meat tower with an eyeball. But once you, I guess that's too high for us to get onto, he will knock you off the cliff a ton. I don't think falling off the cliff does damage, or it doesn't do a lot of damage. What you need to do is just knock him down off of these different meat pedestals. I don't know what these are, but I'm calling it meat pedestals. And once you, I guess he's still too high, you just gotta knock off all of these all at once. That'll be good. And then you can get right on up where you were before. So doing so also stuns him. It's really easy to land on top. There's not a whole lot of aiming or anything of actual work required. So I'm just gonna hug him apparently. And it's just kind of repeat this process. He'll gain new meat towers every time, and you'll take a good swing attack and a couple of slashes. You'll take off each level. I don't know if there's anything else. I guess I should maybe try shooting it with an arrow or a bomb to see if that will like do more damage. But just gonna use the sword. He will knock you off the cliff a bunch if you let him, which I kind of am letting him since it doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, and I'm just kind of charging my way through him to just knock him down as quickly as possible. Otherwise, just run and use your shield and you'll be fine. But oh no, fell off again. I hope he doesn't kill me. I got a fairy either way, so he can do whatever he wants to me. Oh, he almost knocked me off that time, but I avoided it. Okay, so hopefully this is the last time of this. We'll see here in just 1 second. It might be, it might not be. There we go. Dead meat tower with an eye. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So that's going to pretty much wrap up this video. I'm sorry it's kind of a boring one. I was a little bit tired. But the next videos get really fun as we're going to go confront Yuga and go into the other world. So we got a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening here in just a few videos. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check in for more here in a Hidden Triforce. Thank you for watching.